Alright, welcome to another 10-minute review. So today we have a piece, an animation piece by Alex Sanchez. It's a Deadpool piece. I like where this is heading, is a blocking once again, and I have a few tips for Alex to actually make this better. So let's get started. Alright, so welcome guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much to everybody that actually joined us on Discord since last time. We've been adding more people to the Discord, more chat, more awesomeness. And this one here by Alex Sanchez looks really cool, and I thought I would give my 2 cents on this piece because he's going places. He just needs a little bit more, right? So without further ado, let's put 10 minutes on the clock and get started. So Alex, I think this looks really cool. I'm gonna play once to make sure people see where you're heading with this on your blocking. Cool. So the notes that are here are not mine. They are from the people in our Discord server. They've already been helping Alex with his shots because people are so cool. But I think that the positives of the shot is that I think you have something that actually has a beginning, middle, and end. Now, the beginning could actually be a bit stronger because me as an audience looking at this, I'm already getting a punch as a first move. You kind of have to set up the scene slightly better. Maybe he actually, instead of just being already on the wall, just like in pain, maybe he just gets punched by the other guy, right? So there's one punch and then he hits the wall, and then he kind of like goes down and just goes, oh, this hurts. And then he punches the other guy, right? So it basically goes 1, this guy, right? And then 2, Deadpool, right? And then the whole scene starts. But you're very close. It shouldn't be much more for you to add a little bit more. Now the middle is okay. There's lots of punching, lots of action going on and stuff. And then the ending is nice because it's like he's really tired. He's about to actually kind of like fall from his tiredness, right? And probably in pain as well. The biggest thing that is actually missing from this shot, and I think this is where you're missing the most, and I think that there's a little bit of like redoing on this shot in order to really make it awesome, and it is reference. So reference, you might have taken reference, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I would love to actually see the reference. If you have it, definitely drop it on our feedback channel on Discord so we can have a look at it. But if you are using reference to actually take the main poses and all that stuff, I feel like you're not making the most out of your reference, right? So at the first punch, as he goes through, there's like a sense of his feet just being completely static and stuck to the floor. And it feels very stiff as he actually goes down. And the same thing on the second punch. He barely moves his feet as he kind of goes and swings for the second guy, right? He misses the first punch and then kind of like just moves his feet on the second punch. So, and then there's like an off-balance problem right here as he goes forward, that like if you were to do this in real life, he would have just fall flat. He wouldn't be able to actually stay in this position for much longer like that. The whole thing is floaty when he jumps. And once again, like you kind of have a little bit of that floatiness here and then here as well. Like this punch kind of reads a little bit better, but there's a sense of flowing. Like he hits a wall right there when he goes forward, see that? And then he kind of just moves back again. So the whole thing feels like you are perhaps either blocking this too fast and not paying enough attention to the poses, or you're not really using a reference and just taking, like you're doing this off the top of your mind. What I would advise for you to do is basically go back to the drawing board, and if you are doing this properly, if I were to do this, right, find 2 walls that are very close, so a corridor, because this is very close quarters, right? So a corridor that you have in your home, and then get a couple of friends and time to replicate this sequence with your friends as best as you possibly can. It doesn't have to be perfect because we are not Deadpool, we are not stuntman and all that stuff, but he just needs to have a certain cadence and a certain kind of like rhythm to it, that you can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can just try it a few times until you nail it, right? It doesn't have to be perfect even when you nail it, but the idea that you actually are looking for here more than anything is that how would you move your body, right? If you were to go between these two walls that are so close together, I'm pretty sure your whole body will be very conscious of hitting the walls, and most likely you would use the walls as a bounce platform, so you can then use it to punch, right? And as you look at your reference, and as you kind of think about your animation as it is right now, guarantee that you're going to come up with like slightly different ideas on how to get from point A, B, C, D, E as you go through the motions, right? Now, most importantly is that these two guys here, they need to be in the reference as well, because they also need to have a certain amount of cadence, a certain amount of weight as you fall down, as they turn to hit. Like this guy here, whenever he punches, like his foot stays completely still as he goes forward, and if you were to stay here for this long, you will probably fall flat once again. So you kind of have to make sure that these things are in the reference. Also, the punches, the way that Pool is punching, it doesn't feel like it's strong enough to knock down anybody, right? It looks, as you set up the scene, that he has less energy than these two guys here. So if he has less energy than these two guys, obviously the way these guys here punch is going to be with much more force than he would, right? So as you conserve energy and you are really like beaten and just like you just want to lay down, but you still need to fight, you need to be smart on how you punch. So it would be much more of like, I'm tired, and then when I swing, I have to gather all my energy to then go whoosh, and then actually punch with force, right? But no matter how you flip it, that punch, whatever punch you decide to do, like this, right, needs to have the maximum force. And normally when you punch correctly, the punch energy comes from the hips. It doesn't come from the upper body, right? If you look at any boxer or anybody that actually just does boxing or whatever, they'll tell you that normally like you use your hips to then exert force to then actually have the punch, right? To actually kind of like give the punch or punch somebody in the face. So it's the same thing here, right? Right now, the way you have it blocked out, it just feels very much like it's very slow, right? There's no change to it. So because you're just blocking, this is early days, you can do so much more with this. So first step for sure, go ahead and take your reference in a place that looks very much like this, two narrow walls with three characters fighting each other. Then definitely set some markers on the floor and then go through the motions on how he would actually go and beat the other guys. And then second, as you actually are blocking your scene, don't go too fast through it, right? Just take your moment, take your time to actually craft the poses as best as you can, because if you do this, two things will happen. First, you would actually get better at posing the body, and second, you will actually go into your memory bank much better. So next time that you actually have to punch somebody in your animation, you will know the mechanics of the punch much better than if you would just breeze through the animation or breeze through the blocking. So the blocking is really useful for you to actually really analyze animation, analyze motion, and then get that motion to be in your mind, in your head for future use. It's almost like illustration, right? Like any illustrator that is a really good illustrator, they would actually be out there like drawing birds, drawing people, drawing trees, drawing nature, because they need to actually kind of build that bank of information in their heads so they can then be better illustrators if they have to create something out of the blue, right? Like a bird and a tree and some flight or whatever it is. They would know because they've been studying things that are exactly like this thing that they want to create. And for you, it's kind of the same thing. You want to use that reference as an opportunity for you to analyze movement. So that is basically all I had to say about your piece. But I do think it has a lot of potential. So keep going. You're going to learn a lot from it. It's kind of complex. I don't know how many years or how many months you've been animating. So you really have to take it easy. The less experience you have, the more time you have to take to make your animation, so you really learn from it, right? But it's definitely ambitious and I like it. So keep it up, like it a lot. Awesome job. And yeah, thanks for submitting it to the feedback channel. All right, so that's all I had for you guys. As always, definitely make sure that you join our Discord whenever you can, because we're having a lot of fun. Also, for all those that don't know, I have a Patreon channel. Go and check it out. Maybe you can help me out. All money that I get from Patreon goes back into this channel, and then I try to make it better for all of you one day at a time. Another thing for you guys to know as well is that I have an animation mentorship. So this is just a small 10-minute example of what goes on in the mentorship. The mentorships are much longer, a week, a month, and then I can help you guys through it one-on-one with your animations and your craft to become a better animator. That's all I had for you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And until then, stay well, stay safe. Peace.